What a fantastic start that was for Movistar Koi. They are on the board after Fracture. I'm your host, Yingsu, and I'm joined once again by Kakuka and Billy here in the studio. Are you okay? You good?
I'm okay. I'm fine.
To get your energy out, you know, you deserve this.
No, because I am not biased at all. So I have to say that it was a very enjoyable map.
Yeah. Are your ears okay, Billy? From
from the screaming.
Yeah, from the screaming and the cheering. Yeah.
You say this as if this was anything new, you know? But yeah, I mean, am I happy that Koi were to win the map? Yes, I am. But I do have to say that there were several factors that made this map very interesting. It's not only the fact that we finally got to see Fracture, we see new compositions, we see excellent combos, excellent executes, and two very different ideas and interpretations of the map.
Yeah, and of course we get Tejo right off the bat on map 1. We didn't see that at all yesterday until the very, very end. How do we place Shados as Tejo? Are we happy with it?
You asking me? I think you should ask Billy.
I really liked it personally. Although on their defense, I felt as though they were playing it more aggressive on their defense than their attack, right? It was really, really nice. You've seen Movistar Koi had taken a lot of that A control initially on their defense, pushing the Tejo utility up there, getting the Yoru, the Brim Smoke in there. It was really, really nice conditioning, and it kind of made Team Liquid a little bit scared to even go towards that A site, which sent them to the B site.
I think that his utility usage was very impressive. We were seeing it from the beginning of the round, just using as many cycles as possible. But I also think on the other side, we saw Team Liquid that understood very well the assignment on their defense. And it's the fact that if the composition that Movistar Koi is running gets to the post plant, good freaking luck with the Brimstone, with the Tejo, with the Killjoy, with the Vice. You literally are not going to have 1 minute for yourself. And I think that this is kind of what we expected from Shados. There was not a moment where you felt like he was uncomfortable or a utility wasn't used at the end of the round. He was taking advantage of every single thing that was on the table for him.
Yeah, and I feel like just on the whole on this map, all the players weren't really conservative with the util, right? They were really not afraid to use it. They were so aggressive, both sides of it as well. Hopefully, do you think this means that more teams could be debuting, could be showing off Tejo, could be using it and incorporating into their plans?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And do not forget that we have two teams that are not going to play until next week, which are Foot and Heretics. And let me tell you, they are paying a lot of attention right now to what we're seeing.
Yeah, if Foot doesn't play, I'm going to be really upset. But, I mean, we mentioned Lohan earlier a little bit in terms of him coming into this, picking up the roster that he did. I mean, Kamek, the connection's already there. You can see why he's joined this team as well. When we saw the agent select, I think we were a little bit confused at the things that we could potentially be seeing. But, Billy, what did you make of this pick at the end?
The Sage pick, yeah, I really wasn't sure of it. I think that we've seen a couple of interesting walls on their attack. Yeah, not really doing too much to even slow down things as well. I mean, we're getting to see these interesting walls here. He was getting a lot of space, though, when they were going into the attack, surprisingly. As soon as they were able to kind of dismantle that double sentinel defense that Koi had, yeah.
I mean, we understand also the plan behind this, and I think it's a very good example that we've seen, especially on the early rounds, the early usage of the wall to just kind of close one of those entrances for them to have a free entry onto the side. If you put that on top of Kamek having a very good initial performance, I think that by round like 5, he already had like his second rest or something like that. If he would have been able to keep up that performance, or if Movistar Koi hadn't been able to catch up to that and swap things around, especially on their defaults, probably would have seen a different result.
Yeah, it was very close at the end, even not just the scoreline, but things on the server as well. At the IGL head-to-head, very interesting. I feel like we're seeing some vintage Nats coming out of this versus an IGL on the other side. We heard in the comms of him going, I'm an IGL now. Yeah, what did you make of this matchup?
I mean, I'm surprised in the way that, because of course I didn't know exactly what to expect from Flyer and how he was going to merge with the rest of the team. Nats was being Nats, honestly, individually and simply brilliant, and his decision making sometimes, even when it's like pushing with an operator, finding that kind of opportunity is something that very little players can do. It doesn't matter what Shados is screaming at you, Nats. We still think that you're great. But on the side of Flyer, he was staking a lot of those early engagements.
He doesn't bait.
And on the 1v1, but on the 1v1, some of them were clear.
Yeah.
Some of them were necessary, and some of them he was cornered. But some of them were just bad decisions.
Yeah.
Maybe he's learned from Angel.
No, I completely agree. I think Nats, he was kind of getting away with pushing on that up, but Flyer, he ended up with 1 first kill, 6 first deaths. And when your Sentinel is pushing out like that, it's really not ideal. And then you have to rely on Soulcast's setup.
I will say, though, I'm glad that he looked comfortable on stage. You know, there was no nerves. There was no kind of first-time stage jitters. I think he looked very comfortable. He was very communicative with his team as well. I do wonder, though, if this performance is going to carry on to the next one, because this is where I don't even think we could predict what we can see. Who knows what they're going to play? Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Again, we go into the realm of the double Sentinel, maybe a double Initiator. Is someone going to play Duelist in Team Liquid? Time will tell.
They got 3 Duelist players, and none of them did it.
Yeah, I know. I think that's the surprise for me. I think I agree. Potentially another double Sentinel composition going to come out from KOI is what I would predict. I think even though I'm predicting a double Sentinel, I think the way in which Soulcast was using Vice, the way in which we've seen Soulcast use Deadlock in the past as well, is almost in a kind of Initiator way at times too. You know, he's very reactionary with that utility, as well as having really strong setups. So yeah, I'm interested to see what they've got up their sleeve for Abyss.
Would you be okay with just Shados entering his kind of Taeho one-trick era?
Absolutely. I think that it is something that can be abused. Back when Sky was the thing, Shados was the guy. So I can understand how he saw this agent and was like, yo, guys, this is my year. At least this is my tournament.
Yeah, you agree, Billy?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I think that he kind of showed a lot of what you can do with Taeho just on Fracture. So yeah, it's really hard to say because we don't have coverage on what this team is running at the moment.
Okay, but if you had to choose, what Taeho do you like more? Angels one or Shados one?
I have to say Shados. There's so much more firepower behind it, I feel.
I like Shados as more in everything in life. Like, there was a silly question. What a silly question to ask me, of all people. Shados can literally come out here and play Rain, and I'll be like, that is the greatest decision I've ever seen a player ever make on Earth.
Yeah, exactly. And also thinking about the next map, but right, that we're about to jump into this Abyss. Movistar KOI picking this map actually falls in the realms of the expected, right? We're talking about a team that has a lot of scraps from here and there being put together using this kind of compositions. Now they're going to choose a map that has not been played by the majority of the region. So having a kind of edge, and everything I expect to be different on every single side.
Yeah, and also let's not forget, as we take a look at the agent select, how important this game is as well for the rest of this year. And it looks like
this is wrong.
Yeah,
it says Abyss, not Ascent.
Yeah, so I mean, Nats again. I feel like everything on Liquid is very standard. I don't see anything crazy. Of course, Kiko being off role, but he played a lot of Omen in the off season. Nothing too surprising. But what about the side of KOI here? How we feel?
Sleep here. You cannot just give me what you gave me on Fracture and just give me this composition. I like the Astra. I think that it's very, very strong. I do understand the picks. It's not like it is a bad composition. Again, I'm very happy to see Shados stay in on that Initiator role.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm going to be interested to see how the Omen goes up against the Astra in the sense of post plants, right? Because with the Omen, yeah, you have the paranoia, but you kind of need to play a bit up close with that. So yeah, I would prefer the Astra pick over the Omen pick for this map, personally.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to see it. Let's jump back into game and see if KOI can make a bit of history here, Mitch and Tom, and take this match 2-0.
I was going to say something about Paddy Tech, but then I heard toss, and I was like, oh.
Dude, is on their map as well, so at least a little bit of comfort to fall back on. You know, whoever came up with these comps, Tom, feel like they get on pretty well with So Marcus. I reckon they also think ketchup is spicy, because these are some bland takes on how to approach the map. But hey, listen, they've been cooking and they've ended up on this. We'll see if there's some fun ideas when we get down to the server, or maybe later on in the tournament.
I was looking at this like, there isn't a Gecko or a Reyna. Where is he going with this? But okay, fair enough. We're insulting him, which I am fully on board with. Either way, yeah, the thing is, it's like, obviously the last map, both teams had interesting comps for different reasons. One was just a load of the new agents, which is always exciting. The other was running no duelists. Now, I have to say, I'm a fan of Camo's duelist, not so much as Gecko. So I'm hoping we'll see a little bit more from him on the Jet. We've also got Soulcast on Cypher as well. So he's going to try and match up against his old teammate on his agent. So I feel like that's almost a bit of a flex. We'll see how it goes, but there's going to be a lot of pressure put onto him here, being that anchor of the B side. But he does already have a couple of supportive players nearby with a very passive hold of middle.
Yes, they're simply spotting the walk-up, looking instead to be reactive on this B side. As we can see, it is the correct decision from Movistar KOI. As the camera spots them, The recon goes down from Team Liquid. They attempt to destroy the closer traps and now move to the site, but the flash pops just in time. We saw it set up by Flya earlier, and the execution was perfect with Solkus on the double. The advantage firmly in the hands of Movistar KOI.
Yeah, I was interested to see that it's not the other way around and you have Solkas playing that initiator and Flyer on the Sentinel, but I guess it is just for that reason. Set up that guy who was pretty much known for that first bullet accuracy back on Liquid with the opportunity to
30
try and
seconds
find
left.
space. See though, Nats has managed to take some control in the last pistol round. Even though they lost, he managed to get himself 3 kills. A couple here could pretty easily turn the tide. For now though, it's a full retake for Movistar KOI.
Yeah, but they've been patient, you know, so far at least. One player steps out, head ripped off immediately. Another, one by one, they walk into this. The trade a little late, but it comes in eventually, leaving it down to Grabinho though, and the close fight from Patatek, not quite expected. He stuck around even after a few tags, and his reward is the 3-piece. 1-0 for Team Liquid.
This is the agent as well that you look back to last year and it sticks in my mind for Patatek. It was his KO. Gives him a little bit more freedom, but also those supportive flashes that we saw him throw all year. Like I think if Miniboo had 30 kills, he had 30 assists. Like that was basically how that one went, especially thinking back to the maps like Sunset. So
really
good to see him get up in their face, be able to really brawl, unlike the Breach in the last map where he is basically just a rotating stun turret.
Little early flash, smoke goes up to give them the ability to fight out of it. I like the idea.
Not again.
With the pistol, surely though, they don't get much more than just that first. There's some weaknesses for Team Liquid, so a few players falling isn't the end of the world, but it's starting to get a little scary, as you said, Tom, with all that damage done to them. And no map control, really. They could be being pushed up on B. Their spawn could be taken any moment now. They need to be quite cautious. Finally, though, they start to push deeper past that trap.
I wonder when the point will be that they give Kiko the gun. There we go. Okay, I was just thinking like having 2 low players with rifles and him sat there fully healthy, full shields, playing with a pistol just doesn't really make any sense. And yeah, this is dangerous. We've already seen this once, winning the pistol and losing the second round of the last map. Exactly the same scenario, that I believe switched sides of the map. But that's not something Liquid can afford to have happen twice. And we go back to the one sort of off-season performance we saw from them. It was sort of classic Liquid, like losing twice in overtime in a close fashion and just losing rounds in some silly ways. Obviously in the off-season you're not worried. In this game, you are worried.
A plant acquired as well.
Planted.
This is where, I suppose, from Movistar KOI, their ability to really do damage should be mitigated. Or the fact that Team Liquid get to choose the angles that they're holding, get to set themselves up to play those trades. But just one well-landed shot onto Kamek or Patatek, a disaster could be spelled. Luckily, it's Nats, though, taking that initial fight, still with 150 effective HP. Shouldn't be in any trouble. And I imagine at this point, for Movistar KOI, it is wait and see if someone pushes into you, especially for those players outside in B main. And if they don't, go down to the spike. It's not the end of the world. For us, though, you could see just how close it was to being a bit more of a costly round for Liquid.
Our remaining couple of players just going to go down, but realistically, of the scenario they ended up in at the beginning, that's as good as it could have gone for Liquid. They hold onto the rifles, they don't lose any more players, even after the amount of damage that was done, but that is an early warning sign. We've already seen the Movistar KOI are happy to go aggressive on the last map. Obviously, compositionally, when you have the Teo, it's a little bit different. You are going to be looking to take space all of the time, whereas here, that might not necessarily be the case. But I like the fact, again, just like the last map, Philo is going straight for that operator. Clearly a weapon he feels incredibly comfortable on, even dropping the shields for this one. So that first bullet is going to be so important, because if he missed, he's going to be shredded.
Even staying outside of range to start with. Of that KO knife, wanting to take A main later with the drone clearing the way. They've got a good foothold on that side of the map. And it's extended in advantage. Kiko dropped, and that is your smokes down and out of the round. A big loss for Team Liquid when they've got these weaknesses brought to bear. Camo looking for a fight. He's going to get one, and he's seen Corbinho's foot just about spotted where he was. Does he decide to swing in to check that left laneway? If he does, Solkus more than ready for the fight. He's just been staring in that direction for the last minute.
It doesn't matter though. Just that's things. A wallbang shot with the Outlaw. Grabinho trying to make a play goes down as well. That's not gone well. But Filu's still there. That operator has been deadly so far, but bear in mind, Nats is basically using an operator of his own when facing up against anybody other than Shados.
Yeah, the only one with 150 HP is that Sova. By the looks of it, well, actually, I was going to say he's the one with the fight, but Nats is playing very passive, hiding back, letting the camera spot them on the cross. Perhaps there'll be a reaction on side. I see Patatek doesn't have any flashes left, so if they do peek, it's likely to be just that dry swing, and there it is, catching them off guard. Shados and Flya both falling, and it's Filu's up with no shields. There's no way he goes for it. Time to turn tail and leave Team Liquid with a 3-0 start.
Good work from them. Again, it seems like Nats finding those openers has been so important. It was exactly the same in the last map, him being able to use the sniper to find players, pick them apart, and you kind of saw it the second that Soulcats' setup went down. Grabinho was in trouble. Like he was trying to basically do something to get them back into a position where he could fight, and instead gets revealed moving around. It's almost too easy of an entry from them point onwards. If you don't give an angle to Filu, he can't really push back into that one. 3-0 start, much better look. Well, now, for Movistar Koi, a lot of this is going to come down to, can Filu carry them through the round?
Well, can he carry them through, or can he carry that rifle through to the next? The sniper might be more valuable being saved, because you can see that.
Or a death. He would have his blade storm.
Sure. Yeah, indeed. Team Liquid sending it to the other side of the map, though. You can see that Filu on the B site right now won't be involved in this engagement, and that leaves just weaknesses across the board. Players shot through smoke certainly doesn't help, because it looks like Movistar Koi already making that call, Tom. Filu started the round on B, and it looks like he'll end it there as well. The rifle just looking to be carried through. Grabinho will see if he can get anything, but Patatek very vigilant as he pushes into the spawn, clearing every corner.
God, I felt like I would sort of end this map with the testament of I don't want to see Camo play an initiator ever again. Right now, I'm starting to think I don't want to see Patatek play anything other than KO ever again. Like, he's absolutely frying at the moment. I believe he's either 8-0 or 8-1. Just having a great time, especially after that space is taken. Just so good at checking angles, clearing any of that space. And while you mentioned it was either do some damage or maybe get a kill and die or hold on to the operator. I think Filu might have, did he get one? Yes, he did. Okay.
I reckon he survives if he jumps off the map and just floats down. Now, someone to just look over the edge. That would be embarrassing.
Also, you can't jump off the map intentionally. There's a certain map.
Oh, yeah.
Very
You'll be tweeted at immediately. I can't keep getting away with it. Well, a 4-0 start for Team Liquid. Stark contrast to previous map, and you can see that now those panic ultimates panic pauses, I should say, coming out of the side of Movistar Koi. They're the ones to take a breather now and try to course correct, as this one is starting to spiral out of control. Blade Storm online for Filu at least, so money's not going to be a problem.
For sure. A chance for Gorilla and Comet to sort of talk this one through. We saw that sort of last year's Team of Vitality did go from strength to strength with them after basically making it all the way to Champions. I think it wasn't necessarily an expectation after the beginning parts of the year, but they definitely improved that team, and from the first map it seems like they've done the same with Movistar. But there you go, yeah. Patatek 8-0 with 3 assists, 4 rounds in. It's really not bad. It really is annoying when you think about it, how long it has taken this guy to get back to the tier 1. He was playing on G2 all the way back at the very beginning of the game, and then a long sort of tier 2 grind to make it back. I don't think there's anybody doubting at this point that he's earned his spot within, well, one of the bigger organizations in the Valorant scene, or just in esports, I guess. The question is, can they carry that momentum forward? Because 4-0 start is all well and good, but now you have the 4 rifles, you have the ultimate for Filu, a couple of others coming online as well. And we've already seen that Movistar Koi are quite good at making a response.
Well, we've already, in this round, seen Movistar Koi spot out a lot of players outside of A. Now utilities coming down, dashes, reveals. You're really getting the sense they know what's coming. Unfortunately, they couldn't see it. Great flash again from Patatek, landing in the backlines, completely blinding Grabinho and leaving the site not quite wide open. There's still a defender here. Flya up top, looking to trade back that impact from the KO, and it'll be the Knives. Again, put out the exact same time as they come online after barriers up. Camo. Oh, he's not going to land the shot. We're back to a 4v4.
He's definitely had a bit of a shaky start in map 1. Understandable. Maybe a bit out of his comfort zone, but these are shots that last season, playing for Koi, you were expecting him to hit. Still, into the post plant they go. Ultimate available for Paddy, and that's going to make things a bit tougher. He already hit them all with his knife earlier on. Kiko might get caught out looking down, but he's going to take one with him at least. Buy some more time for the rest of the team in the post plant. I think that's the fragment going onto the spike, and then 2 shots hit in tandem. It's left onto Soulcast, but again, Nats with the sniper. It's something I'm saying more and more so far in this game.
Yeah, I think that's one that Movistar Koi are going to look back on and think they could have done a little bit more. 2-man stack on A to start with, spotting the information. No, they don't really have anything to throw at it to confirm if they are coming that way. But by the time the push comes in, just look at how little they're working with. Like this immediate push, Kiko using the TP to go around and take bridge.
Nervous. It makes me so nervous.
They had nothing. They had to just sit back and play the retake and then picked apart. It's not a nice position to be in.
Woo! 5-0. I was waiting for when we'd see that Blade Storm. And this is definitely one of those maps where there's a lot of obscure, ridiculous angles you can take in fights. We've seen this with many agents, and while the attempted setup with the pop flash, no one to greet them. Still, it's ground that can be held, space that can be taken, although saying that, it seems like they might have heard that utility go off and are going back to try and challenge it.
They've been waiting, not seeing any extra utility coming this way. Camo gave the spike over to Patatek. It tells us he's going to be first man in, looking for the fight, and he certainly was. Filu, though, goes back out, sees the barrel, can't land the shot. 1 knife gone, 4 players spotted. And the rotation begins. Shados quickly on his way to this side of the map, and it looks like Rubinho is doing just the same, although doubles back. As the steps were heard from Team Liquid, they fake the rotate and leave Movistar Koi scratching their heads as to where this push is coming in.
Still 3 players there, though. It's still an extra gambled spot. Close positions cleared, but the time is now low, and it's not gone well for Filu. He's been taken out by the shorty. A trade is only going to be the one, and Kiko is clearing things up as the Hunter's Fury makes things that bit more awkward for the players on the site. A post plant that, again, you just can't challenge. A 2 versus 4, and Liquid really starting to run away with this game now.
Impressive stuff as well. We're seeing this paranoia onto bridge. Smoke there, dash in, and it's an Omen smoke as well, not just the cloudburst for the temporary cover. Camo dashing in, and with the shorty in hand. If you're in that smoke, you're dead. If you're behind it, there's going to be a flash from Patatek and a peek out of it. No real easy solution to that kind of play other than just getting ahead of it, winning the fight, and as we've seen, it's not going to be that easy. Team Liquid, seems like they've really cracked the code, and something you brought up last map, Thomas, it's hard to get a read on what maps are good for your opponent. Certainly seems like Movistar Koi have, well, they've fallen into a trap card. The Team Liquid said earlier, this is somewhere that they're more than ready to fight on.
I feel like I've seen this so many times, though, that like teams will attempt a no duelist comp. It will kind of suck. They'll then go back to something really standard, look infinitely better, and you'll go, no way. It's just like,
could have seen that coming.
There's no shot that that's happened.
Oh, also,
maybe that was from the old school Sliggy strat book that was still lying around somewhere.
It's also, I missed it in the moment, there's even a reveal behind the smoke. So you stand behind the smoke, it's not even about a Paddy flash. So I think Paddy might have went down at that point. You either stand behind it, get revealed and shot through it, or stand in it and get shortied in the face. There is no situation in which you get out of there alive. 6-0 start. Team Liquid not showing any signs of slowing down. Operator still in the hands of Nats. It's unusual, but it's been working out. This time, a lot of damage done to Camo on the way in, but he won't go down.
He's just taking the space every single time, even though statistically he's not doing that great and has definitely missed a shot or two you kind of expect him to hit. It's just awkward for the players on site, and each time Kiko, this time even using from the shadows to take that space instead. Again though, He will fall, but it leaves the rest of the team still in that disgustingly strong post plant.
Well, at least there's not going to be any utility for a while. Movistar Koi put the pressure on with the tap, but Flya loses his life as they emerge from the smoke. A little bit too early on that, it seems. There was no punish. Shados now goes down, attempting the res. Another kill, another landing as everything falls into Team Liquid's hands. 7-0, barely breaking a sweat in a lot of these rounds. It doesn't feel close. This is a definitive lead, and one that only seems to keep extending. You got to be worried if you're a Movistar Koi fan.
Yeah, this is the thing. Before this game, I had heard some things about Kiko and his new role, absolutely frying. And after map 1, I was like,
Sure about that?
yeah, maybe not. But he's looked really good here. I think he has been the sort of 1-2 punch to Camo's entry. Like each time he's with him taking that space, each time he's trading out a lot of those kills. Same for Paditek, and that is the sort of the trade-off of playing that duelist. You get to be the superstar at times, but other times you are diving through smokes, dashing into awkward positions, and taking so much damage before you even see anyone that it is then down to your teammates. But I'm liking the fact that Camo has the faith to do that. He's not just going, okay, it's all about me, I need to be the one getting the frags, because he is having impact. But when you look at VLR at the end of the day, it's going to say, he was trash.
They would have won this one 13-0 if he got a few kills. It's the standard sort of practice,
Wow.
but yeah, maybe. Maybe, yeah.
You know,
It's only a matter of time, Tom.
We're over halfway.
Only a matter of time before Movistar Koi put up a round. At least you have to hope so for the sake of Billy and Yinsu's ears at the moment. Imagine they're not in a good spot. For Team Liquid, 7-0 start. Everything is working. Paditek's having a belter, 10-2 at the moment. Utility's been on point as well. 4 assists for Paditek. At least 3 of those are just insta-kills from his teammates.
He was 8-0 though, so he has fallen off.
Oh yeah, what a noob, to be honest. He might get kicked after this one. But no,
Don't say that.
don't say that.
That's too far.
No, it's all right, Patty. I love you.
Here.
You know I love you, Patty. This is it. A minute 25 on the clock, and they're walking straight into this operator. It hasn't had the impact it needed so far, but oh no!
Oh, and he didn't land. He didn't land the shot either. Nats has just sort of diffed him in that one, and straight in we go again. Camo leading the charge. The rest of the team just waiting. Just basically like, is it clear? Anybody that you didn't die? Cool. Okay, we're now coming in too. And once again, Camo's done his job, and they're just waiting. The second it seems like those smokes fade, they are honed in on the angle, ready for the fight. And in fact, Camo is taking a completely different style. It's going through the cage. That one might be a little bit much. But again, the rest of the team sat back waiting for the post. It's only going to be the trade out as Paditek falls. But still, they have a fairly hefty advantage. Where are they going? Okay, I think they're getting a little too cocky.
This guy's crazy. I mean, sat inside the smoke with the shorty after, fine. Both players low that are pushing, and both will fall. A chance now as the defuse is being tapped inside of that cage, halfway already. Solka steps out, looks for the fight, finds it on the first. Smoke about to fade. That shot could have put the round on the board for Movistar Koi. Instead, Team Liquid continue to roll.
Yeah, they played that round like absolute lunatics.
That was insane. I mean, Nats has had a couple moments in this series where he's walked through a smoke with an operator on a Cypher, no way out, and it's worked out. But that one, that pushed the boat out. They knew they're retaking. They knew they're going to be looking at this smoke, and he's like, I'm pushing it. I'm just going to go for it. Fair play, man.
I think also Camo's just probably had enough of dying to the players pushing back through main. So he's like,
Getting in this time.
I'm gonna try dying from ropes instead. It's not a good look. Either way, they're still 8-0. They're still, if it wasn't clear, firmly in the lead. And while these pushes seem to be getting faster and faster, Camo now with the Blade Storm taking full control of the site. Once more, they just have had to sort of give it up rather than face up against him with the supportive utility. They are pushing the spawn.
Yeah, well, they've taken a leaf out of Camo's book, going right up into their opponent's faces. 4v4. As a result, Hunter's Fury got a good idea where their targets are, and that's spot on. Nats out of the round. Trap's now gone. Flank up by Flya. Great position as well. At least one going to be gifted to him. And a chance for more. The pressure on for Kiko. Surrounded. No safe space for him to take, and he ends up TPing behind them. Grabinho falls in the meantime, and that means position, unknown, free kill on Shados, and the shot from Camo to hammer home the lead. 9-0 for Team Liquid. Is there any stopping them on the attack?
Kickoff might actually look better on Omen than he did on Duelist, which is like he wasn't bad by any stretch. In fact, at times he carried them through games, but he's been ridiculous so far in this match. Seems massively confident, and this is almost reminding me, like if you're an old school CS fan, watching that Virtus Pro team, they've just, as they would go, they would start doing more and more audacious plays and just steamroll teams. And that's what this feels like right now. Some of the rounds have been close, but they are getting more and more aggressive as the game goes on. Oh, good luck, Flyer. They've at least managed to deny the ult, but that's about all that will be denied.
Survives an extra second as a result. That's great. And I mean, Movistar Koi coming in with pistols as well. In terms of brawling ability, it's limited. Direct hit from Team Liquid already claiming the site. It's hard enough when they push into you, but when you've got to take these weaker weapons and make up ground, okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, they did push into Filu there, so hey, they gave him the shots. 2 quick connections, but still so much more needed. Upgrades available. It's going to be both Filu and Shados with rifles on the way back through. Filu falls quickly, trade is there, but it's still left to just one, and one pistol at that. Time ticking, but the shot lands to put this into a doable position. Unfortunately, too little, too late. Kamek, they might not be getting out of this one, but double digits on the board for Team Liquid, regardless of who's left standing. Movistar Koi don't have too much of a leg to stand on in this second half, unless they get started real soon.
That's sort of the thing about it, though, is like, financially, Liquid really don't care. Like, they've got enough to buy for this round and the next. Obviously, that's the half completely done at that stage. So even though some of these rounds, yeah, they're losing fights to just basically pushing into their opponents, as long as they have the round secured, it doesn't seem to matter to them. And it's been a rough showing for quite a few of the players right now. Shados, who was fantastic in the last map, not hitting the same. It's only really been Filu. He's had this operator in hand that's had his moments here and there. But again, they're just doing well to force him into really awkward battles and then just running it down.
Oh my. Okay. Couple of connections, it puts them on the board, perhaps. It could be the round. The responses are so quick, though, from Team Liquid. Again, down to a 3v3 with Filu tagged so low, and you know they're looking to get aggressive. The op lands a shot with Kiko down on 1 HP. Filu barely avoiding that nade up top. Finally lands the death blow. Flash is good. Players on either side, but it doesn't matter. Both will fall. Damage done. Could put Grabinho in a spot to do some damage. He's isolated a 1v1. And the shots landed. That's the spike down. Where was Patatek with 20 HP? He steps back into the angle, but finally, there's a Movistar Koi player left at the end of the round. It's 10-1, the first for the defensive side. They could double up before this half ends.
Yeah, it took a Red Bull clutch to do it as well. 1v2, which ultimately came down to players going in opposite directions. But a round that they'll definitely take. And I will say, if you look back to last season, you look back to history, Team Liquid might be one of the only teams in the world that could lose from this position. I don't think it's going to be happening, but you have to hope they've turned over a new leaf. There'll be some still worried fans out there. You can understand why. They've got history of causing cardiac arrest.
On the upside, Tom, I find Bind to be one of my favorite maps. Fracture's the other, yeah. So it's been a good pull so far, and I'm pretty sure we're going the distance. You have to be at this point.
It'd be a shame if someone was going to take it out for like a cent or something like that. That would be really foolish.
That would be awful, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it just? Well, looking for that 11th round, Team Liquid, not quite the flawless half, but I think we can forgive it. Paranoia used Grabinho, still with a good chance that they do push up that avenue. And he's sprayed through the smoke by Kiko. Well, that's just nasty. Thought he was making a good play, but evidently not, as it seems that Team Liquid cannot put a foot wrong. Everything landing yet again. And, well, except for that. Nice shot by Filu, but he's got to do it all. An ace.
4 more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's about right. Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Mitch. I don't know if I want to discuss this one too much. That was a pretty brutal half for the side of Movistar KOI, and they've got to prove something ridiculous. We'll be back after the break to see if they can win 12 in a row.
One enemy remains.
Welcome back, folks. A close game. As if you're just tuning in, all of these rounds, Tom, they've really been down to the wire. It could have went either way. Just sheer look for Team Liquid. Now, obviously, masterclass of a display from Liquid. And clearly, although this is KOI's map pick as we get back into Abyss, Team Liquid have come into today very prepared for this map. They've shown us confidence. They've shown us aggression, I'll tell you that. Now it's their chance to defend, and it looks like a pretty easy close to this map.
You'd have to hope so. Like, if this one ends up being close, I think Liquid fans will get ready for another year of just
disappointment,
just stress. You'll end up with as much hair on your head as I do. But, you know.
Nothing wrong with that, Tom. You look beautiful today.
No, but you know, I'm sure the Liquid fans might not want that. Stress called baldness is not something you want.
It's not the trending style right now, Tom. I hate to tell you, but you know what? You might make a comeback. They go in cycles. They go in cycles. A few hundred years. Team Liquid, B site has been stacked up, it's fair to say. 5 players on that side of the map, and then they see that there's some utility landing on A. The Cam spotted a few players, and they realize their eggs are in the wrong basket. Now it's time to mount that retake. Well, this could be the second round loss that we've seen so far. Don't hold your breath.
Good flash, just left them blind, but still, again, Kiko is there to land the shot, keeps things even as Fila is able to trade. As said, he's been the one sort of glimmer of hope for them thus far, but the trade's coming back thick and fast. It's left just onto Kiko, but he has been a hero throughout this game.
4 bullets.
Even realizing exactly where Soulcast stands. The ex-Liquid man versus the current. He tries to bait him into that peak, but it's going to be easier said than done, and Soulcast is playing this one to perfection, just buying that time on the clock, and that shot just cannot be connected. It will be all too easy for Soulcast to take the second round for Movistar KOI.
Well, that's the pistol round under their belt, and the first step on a very, very long path to redemption. For this squad, though, it's not all about winning this map, I suppose. This is their map pick. They want to show that they have got a little bit of fight to their Abyss and then move into Bind with their heads held high. That'll be possible if they can start stringing together a couple of rounds. For Team Liquid, pistols. That's all they're going to bring into this one. 2 Sheriffs to work with, Classics alongside it, and another gamble stack from this defensive squad. We'll see them push up on B as a big old unit. Nats does manage to find one on the other side of the map. But it's this here that's the real trouble.
Okay, there we go. I was about to say, is there a world where they manage to all get past the Cam? The answer is no. I don't think that one's going in.
First bullet accuracy, you said, Tom?
That's not going in Soulcast's classic montages that we normally see. It seems like it might not be too much damage. It's going to be Soulcast down, but it's only a pistol that's been retrieved. The rest of the players already just waiting for the spike to explode, and Kiko's just gonna... Oh, how dare you? How dare you? Oh, there you go. Soulcast got a kill.
I'm going to go down to the stage and have a word with him. One moment.
You are the admin after all, right?
Yes, I do everything here. 11-3.
Except the lights, they're a bit too high up for you.
Wow. Okay, well, they gave me a remote control.
They do send you into the vents, though.
It's because of my resemblance to John McClane.
And getting under the desk for you, very easy.
Wow.
Don't even need to crouch.
It's just rude. They're standing desks, Tom,
I've heard that you unbind your crouch when you play, so it all makes sense.
It's not true. It's on my spacebar. 11-3. Team Liquid now with rifles in their hand and another signature bit of aggression from this squad. Seems like that's all they've got planned on Abyss. Defensive side, even then they attack, having pushed up and taken some control over A main, rotations to the B site. A trap has just been dropped there by a shock dart, so smoke comes in to fill the gap. No information for them to claim, so they just assume that it's a B hit right now. Nothing A, some presence B, sure, it makes sense. The gamble is significant though. I mean, the closest player to the A site was in spawn walking the other way. They've given up so much control right now, Tom, that it does make the round difficult if Movistar Koi don't give them something to read very soon.
Which I believe they have. That knife has just caught a couple, so now knowing that at least your controller is on this side of the map. Nats will start things off well. That's Filu down. The space being taken, but it's all a ruse. A ruse to get them a plant. The problem is, normally you'd want at least an even trade with the fake. The fact that you're 2 players down makes this a tough post plant to play, and one that you almost have to get aggressive. And you can already see the positioning of Camo is not one of, oh, I'm just going to run in and try and take this alone. He is waiting to see where that aggression is coming from and waiting for his team.
Well, that's it. You can't afford, because of the numbers, to send someone to flank them, to cut off those rotations. Instead, they try to fight forward, claim free space. That's denied. And a lot of info now. They've seen them all. Flash goes up as space is taken on the side. Team Liquid flooding in. Camo with the double, and Kamek following up with the final. That's 12 on the board now for Team Liquid, as Spike's not ticking quite fast enough to win the round for Movistar Koi.
But that's a great knife from Padatek to get the info, but more importantly, I think it was Kiko's paranoia is even better, because it leaves the one player that is watching the other way completely blind. So they could just, I think it was Camo, just swings out and kills 2, both up top by the rope, because they're like, oh, well, my teammate's watching it. They're completely blinded. It's only at the last second you can see the jump up. So that little piece of utility makes that retake so much easier. Well, we're questioning whether there is a world of a comeback. I think that's just fallen flat very quick.
You don't believe in 9 in a row? An OT? Come on now.
Only when Na'Vi play Liquid on Split.
Well, let's see if this can be added to the history books.
For the wrong reason.
For all the wrong reasons. Movistar Koi, you know, head held high coming into the next map. That's what I'm falling back to. Perhaps they'll be able to do it. Right now, it feels like Team Liquid are just playing at a different level. Their aggression has been working across the board on a map that no doubt Movistar Koi came in heavily prepared on. A big push from the attackers, having taken control of Heaven. Spot by Kiko, though, left unchecked for a little too long. Able to capitalize the kill. Fight in mid! Definitely not expecting Solkas to be embedded in that position, but the numbers are thinning and left down to just this man. 1v4, Spike down on B. Not a snowball's chance in hell.
Yeah, they're going to double peek it as well. Not a chance for Soulcast in that one after what was a troublesome first map, a fracture, a worrying start for Team Liquid. They go into Abyss, things look a little bit more standardized, and we see some of those individuals pop off.
They may have lost their own map pick, but they've dominated on Koi's and rightfully brought us all the way to bind. We'll be back with map 3 after the break.
Give me, give me.
Nice, Patrick. Fabrovsky really holding that.
Yeah, we got this, boys. We're in this.
Nice, Patty.
Of course, bro. Of course.
Nice, Patty, going out the smoke.
Beast. Remember this.
Yep.
Like a beast.
Red Bull gives you wings.